Hello and welcome. You're listening to Start Again with Shaunna Lee, the place where you will be reminded that it's never too late and you're never too old to do the damn thing. So stick around if you're ready to vibe higher and be inspired to chase your dreams. Together, we will uncover your soul's truest desires. Now, if you're ready, let's get started. Well, hello again, my friends. I have an episode for you today that I'm going to share a little life hack. I kind of hate that phrase, but I don't have a better one, so I'm using the one I don't like. But it really is a tip for you. Um, it's funny, when I started publicly publishing and sharing my advice for people, it felt very odd, first of all, because I had to get over this imposter syndrome of who the hell am I to tell people how to make their life better? Uh, but here's what I know. I fucking listen to other people when they're like, hey, I've got this tip. Do you want to know what it is? So here I am sharing a tip with you because this shit works, is what it comes down to. And I've started realizing the older I get that, yes, I've gained some wisdom. Yes, I've learned some things. Um, More often than not, I have learned from my own stupid mistakes, right? Like choices I've made. And I'm like, oh, well, fuck, that didn't work out. And then I learn a lesson. Uh, and I have also learned that the more I listen to other people and pay attention to the lessons they've learned from the mistakes they've made, that sometimes they can save me a little bit of heartache. So here I am attempting to do this for you. So I'm talking about sleep today, and it really is one of these things that I feel so strongly about and so passionate about sleep and good sleep and the quality of sleep being important, that it is probably one of the things that my friends and family are like, oh my God, shut up already about the good sleep, right? But we all fundamentally can agree, because we know this to be true, that the human body requires sleep, right? Like we know that we have to sleep. And those of you who have been truly sleep deprived know that's true from experience, right? So we know also that we need good quality sleep to perform our best, whether that is like athletically and physically performing or mentally being able to do well on a test or any of these things. Like we all know we need good sleep, right? The problem is we don't fucking do it. And I say we because I include myself in this, because I'm guilty of doing the same things that everybody else does, right? Trying to do too much in a day, stay up too late, finally get an opportunity to actually relax. And then I start watching, mindless trash TV. And next thing I know, I've binged 3 episodes of Daisy Jones and the Six. And I'm like, fuck, I need to go to bed. So we all know that it's important. We all know the 800 reasons why we don't get enough sleep. But if we talk about like actual sleep deprivation, anybody who's had a newborn baby or who's had a sick kid and you've stayed up all night with this sick kid, or anyone who has switched from working days to nights, this transition is like a nightmare where you essentially try to function with sleep deprivation. Any of these situations are all the same, right? Like you don't get enough sleep. And by not enough sleep, like you are deprived of the sleep your body physically needs to function, right? Um, Even those of us, now I never did this, but those of us who have pulled all-nighters to study or party, and you try to chug your way through the day the next day, like we all struggle. We're foggy. We don't think clearly. Um, we're not as confident. We are just not our best selves when we're operating under a state of sleep deprivation, right? So, like, we all get it. Okay, you need enough sleep. My theory, though, is that most adults and a lot of children, don't get me started on this one, but most people in today's society are not getting enough sleep. And we have learned to function with like well under the bare minimum for what our bodies need. And also, I'll tell you, I was doing a little bit of research. when I was kind of preparing for this, because oftentimes I want to not just share my experience or my opinions, although I'm really good at that. Like I could just tell you what the hell I think is true. Um, I like to have something substantial to back it up, right? And I did some Googling, and yes, the big infinite they are saying most adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And I will tell you from my personal experience, well into adulthood, like I probably was early 40s before this shifted for me, but I really needed 9 to 10 hours of sleep every night. And so I'm a huge proponent of going to bed early and sleeping in, and I love the snooze button. And I know all the research that says snoozing is bad for you. Um, I just love sleep. I am fascinated by my dreams, which I can remember more of them when I sleep better, also when I sleep in. But I also just generally know my body well enough at this point to know that I need more sleep than the recommended dose of 7 to 9 hours is. Um, and I can function on less, but not for very long. And what I see in most of my friends and family and close people in my life is the same applies to them. So I talk about sleep all the time. I love naps. I think they're amazing. Um, anyhow, I digress. So this whole idea of getting enough sleep, that's my question to you. Are you getting enough sleep? I would be willing to bet the answer is no, because most of us are not. But I think it's different for everybody. And that really was the point of where where I was going with that, is that we know how much our bodies need, and most of us have convinced ourselves that we need less. And that's because we're trying to get so much shit done every day. And then when we have a moment to relax, it feels so nice to just rest and relax and turn off that then we want to do that longer. So then we deprive ourselves of the sleep we actually need because we're having a little bit of fun, is my theory. But what I would say is if I was giving you advice today, which, oh, by the way, yes, that's what I'm doing, is you probably need more sleep and you probably need to pay attention to the quality of sleep that you are getting. So I will say quality sleep is probably more important than enough sleep. If you could only have one, and my argument is we need both. But if you could only have one, I think focusing on quality sleep is the more important thing. And so, what keeps us from having good quality sleep? I don't know about you, but like kids who wake me up in the middle of the night, that's one. Um, Stress about work or business or whatever is happening in my day to day life. Oh, that's two. Anxiety about what my ex husband may or may not do. Oh, that's another one. So I just think stress and anxiety in our day to day lives is generally what keeps us from getting quality sleep. But a lot of those things we have control over, believe it or not. And so this is probably what you're about to ask yourself. Okay, yeah, Shauna, but how? How do I get better quality sleep? How do I get more sleep when I've got these things pulling me in 18 different directions? And here is my tip for you. This is my life hack for better sleep. And I'm going to say better because it can be longer, it can be better. Either way. And it comes down to something that is going to sound so silly, but it works. And it is essentially gratitude. Okay, stick with me. Here's the thing about this particular practice. I've shared it with some people, and unanimously, all of them have said they have less tossing and turning during the night. They're getting good quality sleep. They feel like they're getting solid sleep. They're getting to that dream state more often. They're not having insomnia as often. They're remembering their dreams. And just generally, it feels like better sleep. And it comes from this one little tip, and this is gratitude. So, specifically, those last moments right before you go to sleep, where you are laying in bed, you have fully relaxed, you have found the good spot, your eyes are closed, it is quiet. What are you thinking about? Generally, most people are, oh my God, what am I going to do tomorrow? Am I getting enough sleep tonight? Like la 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 in our head, right? And what I'm going to challenge you to do is to very intentionally and on purpose think about what you are grateful for as you are going to sleep. And this isn't a checklist. This isn't another to do. This is merely about sitting in, wow, what interactions did I have today that were really amazing? What person did I chat with today that left me feeling really cared for and loved and seen and understood? How much do I love my children? I'm so grateful for the fact that they are healthy. I am so grateful that, oh, I don't know, my son did his homework. Like, let's pick something, right? Like, just sit in what happened today specifically that I am so glad that happened, or I am so grateful that I had that experience. And what I have noticed when I have done this is I will, when I first sit down to be like, okay, yeah, what am I grateful for? I will instantly think of like 5 different things, and I will kind of work my way through one by one by one and just really focus on each of those instances and feel the gratitude in my body. It is like this warm, gooey, lovely feeling when I actually sit in gratitude. And then I fall asleep before I get to the 5th one, like almost all the time. Now, I also um, have trained myself how to fall asleep quickly. And that could be a whole other episode, I'm sure. Um, but when I put myself into a state of relaxation, I physically, these are my tips I tell my daughter, who, I shit you not, why does this kid hate sleep so much? I don't know. How does a child of mine not like sleep? I don't understand. But here we are, the universe has gifted me with this child, and she does not like sleep. And so what I have told her is, you have to relax your body and your mind. You you can be stiff as a board and still and make your body stop moving, but if your mind is racing, you're going to have trouble falling asleep. And also, the same is true. If you shut off your mind, but you're wiggling around and can't get comfortable in bed and you keep moving and adjusting, like, you're not going to go to sleep. So you have to shut both down in order to fall asleep. And the faster I can do that, the faster I fall asleep generally. And so when I do those things that I know to do, and then I focus on gratitude, I don't get through my list very quickly. So maybe you get through all 5, maybe you don't. But here's what I will challenge you with. Do this for a couple nights this week, and then tell me how much you are sleeping better. Every morning that I have done this, I remember more of my dreams, which I love, by the way. And my last episode on signs from the universe, I also think our dreams are a way that we receive those messages. And so for me, I love interpreting dreams. I think they're fascinating. But if I'm not getting good quality sleep, I'm not remembering my dreams, and then I'm not hearing the messages. So I'm fundamentally a fan of good sleep, if for no other reason than just I want to remember my dreams. And so when I've done this gratitude practice, I sleep better. It's solid sleep where I wake up feeling rested. I have a little more pep in my step. I'm not going to say I snooze less the next morning, but it sort of sometimes feels like it. I'm I'm sure that's not true, but um, I do sleep better when I have practiced this act of gratitude. And it's a practice. It's an act. It's a very intentional, purpose-filled thing that I'm doing as I'm going to sleep, as I'm relaxing my body, as I'm essentially focusing my mind on the things that I want. And when I do that, I sleep better. And every person that I've told feels the same way. So I'm going to try something new with this episode, and I'm putting a poll on this particular episode because I want to know, when you try this, does it work? Are you sleeping better? Let's find out. That should be fun. And this is a really short episode. I find my advice episodes are really short. So maybe I will tell you more stories moving forward or incorporate more stories into those. But this one was like too good not to share. And I felt like I was doing a disservice by not sharing with all of you how to get better sleep because it affects every aspect of your life. So, you are welcome, my friends. Sleep well. Until next time. Okay, listen. Are you struggling to find what your true purpose really is? You should try journaling. At the very least, it will get you to a better feeling place than where you are right now. I've created a set of journal prompts to get you on your way to discovering who you truly are and where you want to go from here. My free download is called Journal Yourself to Joy, and it's available at SimplyShaunna.com under Free Stuff. These are my tried and true journal prompts that will raise your energy, increase your positivity, and brighten your day. Download yours today.